Clarifying that for us, that minority institutions have their own set of rules. So that is something that's going to be permitted essentially in a minority institution. But the problem here is that the protests have started at government institutes in the state of Karnataka. And for our viewers, Mustafa, do take us through what really has been happening for the last 1 month. I'll go back to Mustafa in a bit from now, to Shija, who continues to be with us also from Udupi, from where all of this really started. Actually, Shija, with just 6 students, but like Nabila was saying, that many of them have raised this issue because they say that this is about our freedom to practice our religion. Hijab integral to the Muslim faith, and in solidarity we wear the hijab and we ask for the right of our classmates also to wear the hijab. And this really, like I said, started with 6 women essentially protesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Shija, do take us through the details of what really has happened over the last 1 month, the manner in which tensions have been simmering in the state of Karnataka. Like I said, it's not something that we're seeing in the last few days or weeks or so. A month of this tension simmering in the state over this issue that actually started with 6 girls trying to assert the right to wear the hijab.
Yes, that's what I was telling from the beginning. It was a small issue. The issue was big, but it was started in a campus. It was between 6 students and a management. There was no government. There was no organization supporting it. It was supposed to be sorted from then and there. This was not become a national issue. It was that the 6 girls were not ready to come and, come to the classroom with hijab. They were not allowed. They were very adamant that they wanted it, after which they had put forward a complaint to DDPU and the administration. However, they were all neglected there also. That is the reason why they have finally go forward with legal this. Now, these 6 children has been made sit outside the class from past 1.5 months, and they were been demanding again and again for the same thing, that they want justice, they want their rights to get into the class and get the education. But the organizations, though ready for the management actually, though ready for the online classes conducted only for these 6 girls, which they were not ready. They were not okay with attending online classes, and they wanted to attend the class with all the students. Now, after all these problems and the matter dragging into a religious or political level, now there is always a doubt that can the students now in the future, will the students be able to sit and, along and be friendly? That's a big question. See, now one student is against another and another student is against another. Now what the problem is, they were friends. Earlier they were friends. Now in the future also they are going to sit in the same bench. But will there will be the same feeling for them? See, the entire matter is dragging in such a way that the unity, the uniformity, the discipline, whatever is we promise to our younger generation is being questioned actually. This is what the situation right now, it's just the campus matter. It was just a campus matter. It would have been sorted in the campus, if not at least in the district administration level. It would have been more better than that, keeping the students outside, locking the gates. Further, some of the MLAs, who's MLA of Udupi, Kundapur, Baindur, everyone interfered, as they are the student welfare student development committee president. So they all put their hands into it and made it as a big, huge news, Ultimately, who is losing from all this is the students, that including Hindus and Muslim students, and they have a future ahead. Now, this is a time we all should, public and government and everyone should understand that they should be given a right to education. Education is their religion. Education is their politics. Whatever it is, rest should come, afterwards. Even most of the students yesterday, even in between the violence, they were saying that please allow us to study. Even the Muslim students wanted them to given rights to write the examination. The students were saying that they were thrown out of the class. They were not even treated as the students. They were like treated as a backwards, or discrimination was done. This is not the right thing. So that's what they're, they somehow wanted this problem to be sorted as soon as possible, and get into the class and get their education, at the right time.
Yes, but when is the question? When is the question? We have to wait until this matter is heard once again by a larger bench. Nabila also continues to be with us. Nabila, interesting developments from the state of Karnataka, but it's not just going to be limited to the state of Karnataka. Elections in the state of Uttar Pradesh, undoubtedly this matter is spilling over. The manner in which political parties have picked it up, Congress has raised it in parliament. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has spoken about this issue, breaking their silence on this, talking about this, how this really isn't about hijab essentially. And like I said, it's election time, not just in UP but in other states also, and this certainly is going to play out, isn't it?
Undoubtedly, Sneha, and I'd really appreciate the words that Shrija put together. She said it so beautifully well, that this is at the cost of who? At the cost of our students, the next generation who is going to be the future of India, the future of our country. At their cost, politics is being played out. These are the same students, after all this commotion, will have to go back inside the same class, sit with each other, face each other, study with each other. The same friends who were earlier very great friends, leaving all their religious differences aside, have now become so conscious of their religion, and they're not willing to face each other. They're abusing each other, heckling each other. We saw MGM, one girl walked up, she was passing by with her hijab. She attempted in a symbolic gesture to go stand outside college with her hijab to allow her to go inside class with that. We saw how the saffron-clad boys' robes heckled her. These were classmates earlier. They were friends earlier. They all know each other. They all know each other by first name. They hang out together. They ate lunch together. And that's what's really disturbing today, that we're seeing this kind of polarization that's happened right at institutions, educational institutions, and to such a level where the Karnataka government had to force a ban on educational institutions for 3 days. This really sends out such a strong message, and like you really rightly said, we have politics in the pole-bound state of Uttar Pradesh, where we see the hijab issue resonating. Asaduddin Owaisi picking up the issue there, speaking extensively and very vocally in favor of hijab-clad women, about how they must be allowed inside classes wearing the hijab. You have Priyanka Gandhi raising this as well. You have several other leaders and netas now coming out in support and against any difference inside classrooms to maintain uniformity. Of course, Karnataka is going into elections the next year. So, mind you, Sneha, this is also barely 1 year away or 8 months away for Karnataka state to go into elections. And at a time like this, we're seeing the Congress jumping in. Siddaramaiah, DK Shivkumar, all of them now commenting. Initially, when the protest snowballed, there was not a whisker from the Congress party, let me tell you. Not a word that came from DK Shivkumar or Siddaramaiah condemning this entire commotion and controversy and the protests by students, or how that the government was probably not handling the situation well, not nipping it in the bud in time. When the situation snowballed, it escalated to such enormity. That's when we heard finally Siddaramaiah coming out to say, close schools and colleges, give them online education until this situation is sorted. Is that so easy, to close schools and colleges and give students online education and to expect them not to realize what exactly is happening in the state? Students are more intelligent than we can imagine here, Sneha, and that's why we're worried that this is the future of India that we will see if not controlled right away.
Nabila, you put it rightly. These are students who were friends, who were studying together, and before this controversy, and even when the dust settles really, and hopefully it does so soon, they are going to be facing each other. Imagine a situation when we're so conscious of your religious identity and you put that before everything else, thanks to this really unwanted controversy that we've seen brewing in the state of Karnataka for the last 1 month or so. For our viewers who've just joined us, remember, for the last 2 days, the court has been hearing this entire matter. Nolan Pinto continues to be with us, getting us the very latest as far as the developments in court is concerned. Do summarize both sides of the argument of the petitioner also and what the government essentially has said in court. Representations have been made even by the advocates representing the colleges, the government colleges, who are essentially saying that why is this matter being raised now, Nolan? When we spoke to the students about it, nobody raised any concerns, and now these concerns are being raised. Nolan.
Well, Sneha, the hearing has actually gotten over as of now. Everyone thanking the judge for the time he gave them. And for those who were looking for some sort of interim relief, Justice Dixit, actually, I want to quote him, he said, "It is open for the petitioners to seek interim relief after a decision is taken by the Chief Justice regarding the constitution of a larger bench." So what really happened today was this. When the hearing began, initially, Justice Dixit was not comfortable in giving an order. He said that if it is okay with both sides, that is the advocates, petitioners, and also the Advocate General, this matter be referred to a larger bench. Initially, both sides did not want that. They said that they expressed their confidence in the single judge bench, stating that it would be better if he could actually give an order today itself after their submissions, because Advocate Kamath, who was representing one of the petitioners, completed his submissions yesterday. The Advocate General wanted to actually go about with his arguments today along with the rest. Now, during the course of a very, very brief submissions and arguments, the Justice Dixit continued to state that these are very, very important matters that he cannot deliberate on. It would be better if a larger bench looks into this. And finally, both sides agreed, not before the petitioners' advocates stated that while they accept the fact that this matter should be given to a larger bench, they asked for interim relief. Their interim relief was that for the next 2 months, because exams start on the 16th of April, mathematics is their first paper that they'll be writing. For the next 2 months, let these students who want to wear a hijab head back to school because they are not interested in online classes. They've sat inside for a very long time. But the Advocate General stated that giving this interim relief would mean that you're accepting the petition put forth by the petitioners. So he said that will not be acceptable to the Karnataka government. So all in all,
just come back to you for more on that. Yes, Nolan, summarizing what really has happened in court today and yesterday, we'll continue to keep a very close eye on that story, that big story. Sheja, Mustafa Sheikh, also Nolan Pinto, Nabila Jamal getting us the very latest when it comes to the kind of tensions that we've been seeing in the state of Karnataka for a month together. India Today, the only channel that got that story to you first, the hijab campus face-off that has now snowballed in a big way just ahead of elections in the state of Karnataka next year, and of course elections in 5 different states in India, especially in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We continue to keep a close eye on that story. For the